Mind is rated R. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is also rated R. We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the road we will talk about some adult content and use some of our favorite swear words.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Consider yourselves warned. Welcome to Rocky Horror Minute, the podcast where we break down the Rocky Horror Picture Show in excruciating detail, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Leandra.
And I'm your other host, Kelly.
And back with us is the reigning Miss Southeast Comedy Queen and a top 5 finalist from National Miss Comedy Queen. She was amazing on season 4 of Camp Wannakiki on Out TV and is a co-host of Flapping and Fawning podcast and a founding member of the Rocky Horror Hot Dog Shadowcast in Birmingham. It's the talented, the beautiful, the hilarious, the right here, right now, Flapjack.
I have a drinking problem. And the freaking
Well,
problem is I don't have a fucking drink in my hand.
I have an eating problem, and it's that Kelly's not here.
Aw. Because she ate. She always eats.
So true.
So, Kelly.
Yeah.
What happens in this minute? And what minute is it?
So it's minute 89. 88. Okay. So it's
What
minute
minute is it?
88. Minute 88. Okay.
Blah, blah, blah,
So
blah.
it's minute 88, as we all know, obviously. And yeah, the song continues, and then we'll finish it up next minute. What everyone think? No, I'm
Kelly.
kidding. Okay.
Kelly.
Yes. All right.
Kelly.
So Frank is sitting on the steps leading up to the stage, and he says, "Everywhere, it's been the same." In the background, feeling. And he continues, "Like I'm outside in the rain." And the corner chorus says, "We healing." Frank says, "Free to try and find the game. De-healing. Cards for sorrow, cards for pain." And he kind of pantomimes dealing out some cards as he says that part. Then he says, "'Cause I've seen, blue skies," and then he stands up holding the black scarf up, sort of, and it's still around him, but he's holding one side of it up in his right hand, and continues, "Through the tears in my eyes, and I realize," and then he starts walking up the aisle. The various audience members who were seated start to stand as he walks by, and we don't see as much of it this minute, but you do see them sort of starting to reach out towards him or turn towards him as he goes by. And he ends the minute saying, "I'm going home."
That was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Kelly.
Yep.
All right, so what do we think of this minute? Flapjack, let's start with you.
In this moment, every single time I watch this film, I'm sad. Because I feel like I could have watched this movie over and over and over again. And it's like, man, we're already so close to the end. You know, it is such like a goodbye, farewell sort of song. And in this moment, I don't know, I always love it so much. One of the things that I noticed from watching it back this time, though, that I had not noticed before, was that when the audience appears, Riff Raff and Magenta disappear. And
Oh, yeah.
I wondered if that was a mistake or if it was to further show like Frank has his own version of reality. But the reason I thought it might be a mistake is because the crew on stage, you know, Brad, Janet, Scott, and Rocky, they're still there when you see the audience there, but Riff and Magenta aren't.
So I don't think it was a mistake necessarily. And yeah, this is when we do the show, we usually have Riff and Magenta kind of crouch down or sit down or get out of the way for this part. It's not the hugest deal because they're back behind the audience usually, but we do. I don't necessarily think it was a mistake. I agree that it was probably meant to symbolize him sort of shutting out the reality of the moment and living in his little fantasy. I'm not sure why that fantasy includes Brad, Janet, Scott, and Rocky. That's a good point.
It's because they're backup singers.
That's true, although he
Right.
did not
They have a
seem
role.
thrilled about that. But that's true. They are backup singers. And that's something I always love sharing with Oscar because we're frequently in that corner together at a show, harmonizing.
I like to think of it as Frankenfurter has been playing with all of these dolls and he's singing a song with them. And then mom and dad come and they're like, all right, you got 3 minutes before bedtime. So he's just kind of wrapping everything up and singing the song. Just kind of the feel of Riff and Magenta disappearing at that moment is very much, well, you're not part of this for me. It's everybody
Yeah.
else, though.
Yeah, I really liked on the commentary when Frank is sitting looking kind of very sad and also like a diva when he's sitting on those steps. Richard O'Brien said, "That's a Judy Garland shot." On the commentary, and I
Yes.
was like, actually, yeah, that is very much a Judy Garland shot.
He would know.
Yeah, so I just thought that was a cute moment on the commentary.
And it feels very dramatic. And even if not Judy, I can definitely see it as a Liza moment. This feels very Liza Minnelli to me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Liza would have had a different vibe, though, I think.
Yeah, she would have tap danced down that runway.
Yeah. Who would Liza? Liza would be Columbia. And Judy.
Fully.
Judy would either be Janet, but I could also see her being Frank.
Mm.
Do we think Barbara would be Janet?
No,
Who would Barbara be?
absolutely not.
Because not Columbia.
No, she's not a Columbia either. She would actually be a great Magenta, but I would love for her to get more of a vocal role.
Oh, she'd be really good
She
on
would
science fiction
honestly.
double feature.
Oh, true. If that was actually done by Magenta, like in a, yeah. Also, I mean, I also think Barbara could slay Frank, but I don't know. What other classic divas do we have? Julie Andrews?
Julie Andrews would be a good Janet.
I love imagining Patti LaBelle as Frank, but in this
Oh, yeah.
moment, like if the backup singers disappear, being like, "Where are my backup singers?"
Bernadette Peters. Yeah, I mean, the problem is like all of these people. Now, Madeline Kahn would have been a great Magenta.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, the problem with all of these is that I kind of want them all to be Frank.
I want Patti LuPone to be Frank.
Yeah. Write in with what classic diva you think should play Frankenfurter, and also who the hell we're going to cast in all the rest of these roles in this hypothetical production.
I want Abby Lee Miller as Dr. Scott.
That's amazing.
Zooming along.
Oh, what a watershed moment.
I had a really unfortunate Dance Moms phase. It was an intense one. My world
Really?
was with
Did you
my
ever make the
girls.
top of the pyramid?
Oh yeah. I was dancing. That's what I meant by that for sure. No, yeah, I was really into that show for a while. But yeah, I love that casting. Lock it in.
Before we get into the audience members, I did want to mention this was one shot where you don't really get a good up close shot of Frank's gold sleeve until he is, you've got that close up as he's walking down the aisle. And the sequin pattern, like that detailing on that fabric, is so much more intricate than I ever realized.
Yeah.
It's a really high quality pattern that you've got going on there. But also the reason my attention was even drawn to it was because I'm often insecure about how well I glue on the feathers that go on the inside of that sleeve. And as you can see, his have mostly completely fallen off at this point because they've gone swimming and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he is shedding feathers throughout the whole floor show. Yeah, we give Sue Blaine a lot of grief and callbacks and on the podcast, but really she did a great job with these. And that would have been something that was purchased, I know, or I'm sure, like purchased as it was, but she has said in interviews that she personally sewed all the sequins gown. She personally sewed all the sequins onto Frank's corset. I think she was talking about a sweet tea corset in that interview, but yeah. Sequin lover, Sue Blaine.
Yeah, truly.
So I'm looking it up because I know that design has a name and I'm just trying to find it.
The sequences.
Of the sequence, yes. The pattern. And it is, I know it's not bric-a-brac, that's a different thing, but vermicelli pattern. That's what it's called.
Man, that makes me hungry.
Yeah.
It actually means little worms. Not that we were talking about that before the show or anything.
Interesting. Do you have experience with that, Kelly?
Just in the feet.
Yeah. Well, no. So that's the thing. They come in through your feet, but that's not how they leave. Audience, I've had worms several times. As a child, not as an adult, but as a horrible little child who kept running around barefoot in the barn.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's
there are a
okay.
couple of
I have two
things.
cats and they've both had worms too. You're in good company, Kelly.
Yeah.
There are several things that I think it is important as a public service that we share with our audience. And one of them is make sure you're wearing shoes when you're hanging around a barnyard. And the other one is, of course, that you can get chlamydia from receiving a blowjob from an infected
Yes.
thrussie.
Or gonorrhea, which is possibly relevant. But
Gonorrhea,
Possibly.
here I go
yeah.
again.
For some I don't know why this is, but most people I know who have gotten an STD through a blowjob, it has been gonorrhea. I don't know if that infection is more easy to transmit that way, but for whatever reason, it seems to be a popular one. Not me.
Not me,
Not for lack of
but
trying.
Sure.
It's not like I was safe giving all those blowjobs, but I guess I got lucky. Anyway,
you know who didn't give a blowjob in this? The floor show guests.
Oh,
oh, I don't know if we know that for sure, but
yeah. I
maybe
mean,
I
some of them
mean,
are pretty low to the ground.
not in this
thank
movie.
you. Yeah.
So I've broken it up into two groups. I wasn't able to track down names on all of them, or not even most of them, but there are a handful that are listed on IMDb, and I was able to cross-reference with a couple of other sites. And from what little I've seen, they're almost as interconnected as the Transylvanians. And today I'm going to talk about all of the floor show guests that once appeared in the series Winston Churchill, The Wilderness Years.
Okay.
So that was kind of their hair.
Ooh.
So, first one I want to talk about is Juba Kennerley, born in 1898, making him, I think, the oldest cast member. He was also in The Omen. He was a rugby match spectator in The Omen, and he was also in Monty Python's The Meaning of Life in the Crimson Permanent Assurance skit. And I want to say that that's the same Monty Python that Patricia Quinn was in. Different skit, though. He had 135 acting credits and died in 1991. And all of these are kind of hard to describe because all except for one are just old white guys in tuxes. So if I said the slightly thinner one or the slightly younger looking one, I don't know that that would really add much. But there's also Louis Alexander. There's very little known about him, including his birth and death dates, but it looks like he was in 144 different films and shows, and he was in a handful of Hammer Studio films and also An American Werewolf in London, along with Revenge of the Pink Panther.
Ooh, a classic.
Yeah.
Next up on our list is Hyma Beckley. All of these seem like kind of fake names. I don't know how to describe it other than like, do you remember the video game where I want to say that it was,
The Japanese
yeah,
look. Yes, I love that Japanese baseball thing. It's a great point of reference.
Well,
and
Leandra, it is interesting because I feel like a lot of the Transylvanians also have made up sounding names
Yeah. I
from,
mean, some of them it's
as
because they're
their legal names.
European, or a lot of them.
Oh yeah, Europeans
Yeah.
and their funny names.
it's true. And then
Yeah.
there's like Christopher Biggins, who I think just has the most iconic, silly name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to go with
next,
Fran Fullenwider for that?
I do concede that that is one of the most ridiculous real names possible. And like the fact that this was in fact this plus size model's real name from birth is just, it seems so unlikely. And
It sounds
yet,
like a drag name, doesn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
fully. Yes, it sounds totally
Especially
like
for
a
a
drag
plus
name.
size queen. If she were not plus size, it wouldn't be that interesting.
Oh my God. Oh my
What?
God. T. Fran Fullenwider and I are the same horoscope sign.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Major. Scorpios
that
in the
is
house.
major.
Hello.
Yeah.
If you had to
Uh,
guess what Kelly's sign was, I don't think you would.
To be
I
honest, I
mean,
really?
only know what Scorpio is and what it
okay.
means. Um, but
Yeah, I'm not
Kelly,
an
I would guess
astrology person, but
if
go
it's
on.
one that is not your personality, I think I would say Virgo.
No, it's a Cancer, and it is very much my personality. I don't know why this bitch is saying it's not. But I am a Virgo, whatever the second one is, Moon or Sun. Anyway,
Interesting.
rising, I don't know, and I don't understand that at all because it is not my personality. But although I am not an astrology person, I must admit that I am a classic Cancer. It's actually really annoying as a non-astrology. No, I'm just saying, as a non-astrology believer, it's annoying that mine is completely spot on. But yeah,
Leandra, what are you, vegan?
No, I'm a
definitely
Leo.
not.
Leo. Okay. That
Yeah,
goes so well with your name.
it does.
Leo.
And that wasn't really intentional, but like, I think that it's a fun little, oh, yeah, sure. That's a very Leo name to have.
Yeah, Leandra the Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a couple more that I want to talk about today. Hyma Beckley is yet again a fictitious sounding name on a real person. He went on to be an extra in several films, but most notably, he was cast as an elderly gent in Muppet Christmas Carol in 1992.
Woohoo!
Wow, diva.
But Hyma Beckley died in 2004 and had 122 acting credits to his name. And finally, we have the one and only woman that I could identify as a floor show audience member, Aileen Lewis. Extremely well known extra. She was born in 1914 and she's sometimes referred to as the Duchess because of her regal bearing. And she was in The Shining along with another extra we'll discuss next time, and also American Werewolf in London. She died in 2014 with an astounding 263 acting credits.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
all four of these people appeared in the docuseries Winston Churchill, The Wilderness Years, which, okay.
What an interesting like thing that connects that thread. Do you
Yeah.
know which extra Aileen was? Like what she was
I
wearing
think it's
in
pronounced
the
Eileen, but
Oh, Eileen.
yeah.
It's Aileen, so
Yeah, that name is pronounced Eileen usually.
okay.
Yeah.
I believe
The
you.
more you know.
Yeah, just
In The
a quick
Shining,
spelling.
I want to say that she was actually dressed in what she's wearing in this, which is, if she is the person that I believe it is, it's the like dripping with gold sequins ball gown. She's very regal looking. She looks very cool, if that is the person that I think that it is.
Interesting. Okay, okay. I think I see her. Yeah, yeah. Is she wearing like a white like shawl with it?
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, diva. She's staring right into the spotlight. She's someone who knows how to find her light. Good for her.
Yeah,
It's
I think that she's so cool. And also, before looking at these minutes and like trying to pinpoint which one of these old white people is which, I had never really looked at the floor show audience members, and they are dressed in some of the most ridiculously cool outfits ever. Like
Well, that
some of
is why they
them,
were cast.
exactly.
Richard O'Brien said they got the role because they had the fancy evening dress.
Like they are dripping. Like
Mhm.
it is very
Yeah.
cool.
No, there are drag queens in this audience for sure. I mean, you've got Eileen staring directly into the light. Yeah, then there's this one diva. She's in like this olive green dress and she has like a mink stole boa. And she also is wearing a tiara and she has an ostrich feather fan that she brought to the gig. Like she's ready to do a full step down number. I
So
like
there's another person. You'll see her in greater detail next minute, but she looks kind of like Phyllis Diller in a like white flapper outfit with big white rim sunglasses. It is so
yes.
fun. I love
Okay.
her.
I'm gonna save my notes on her for the next minute, but I clocked her as well because I was like, who is she? Oh, fierce.
Yeah, I don't think that that's Eileen. I don't think so. And I don't know who she is otherwise. So we can make up anything we want about her, and nobody will correct
Absolutely.
me. Nobody will correct us. It's our podcast, not theirs.
And not yours. Speaking of Eileen, though, in the shot that you see her, it's right, or who we think she is, or who I think she is. It's right when the audience members start asking for an autograph of Frank. And isn't that
Mhm.
kind of rude? Like midway
In the
through a
middle of
number
his
to
song.
yes, to
Yeah,
be
well, actually, I
hey,
mean,
side.
Flap, you're the best person to speak about drag etiquette on this podcast.
Well, here's the thing. If you're handing me $1, that's
Yeah.
really easy to like
And you
I
know
can have
what?
my moment with you and move on.
I bet if anybody had been extending $1, Frank would have snatched it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when you're having a moment like this, like you can tell this is a ballad that Frank has thought about. This grows for him. Like this is a pageant talent that he's doing here. And so for someone to be like, please sign my napkin in this moment, it's just flat out rude.
Yeah, and I put that in my notes for the next minute, but since we're talking about it now, he does like just push past them. He does not even deign to acknowledge that. And I think that's the right choice when somebody is trying to get you to sign something while you're singing. No.
Crazy time. Like what are we doing? What is this?
Stage door him like the rest of us.
Please trapdoor him.
Yes. Dutch door him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
Yeah.
Running out of doors.
Yeah, what other types
I
of
think
door
that's
are
a
there?
sex act, but who remembers in this workaday world?
Those are all of my notes. Does anybody have anything before we go into callbacks?
I have
That's
just
all
a
I have.
little thing I noticed that I wanted to point out, which is when Frank is pretending to deal cards, already in, I would say, not the way you would actually deal cards, but also he does it in kind of two motions. Like he deals 3 like to one side, and then he deals 3 more, and then he turns away like he's done, and then he's like, actually one more, and he deals 1 extra little card, which I always try and do when I play Frank, but I just think it's so interesting. Like he was like, no, 3 doesn't feel right. I gotta deal 1 more card in this imaginary fashion. I don't know. I just think it's funny. It was clearly a moment that like something went through his brain to make him like turn around and deal another card, and I would love to know what it was. That's all I have though.
Yeah, that's a good point. So how many cards did he motion to be dealing? Is it 7?
Looks like 7 to me because he does like dealing and then dealing again, and he's like, oh, 1 more for the road.
Is that the
I'd have to
cast?
rewatch it. Oh, interesting. I mean,
You
I
know?
definitely don't think anyone in the movie put that much thought into it, but that could be fun. Yeah, like the 3, like Magenta, Riff, Columbia, and then it could be Brad, Janet, Rocky,
And Scott?
Scott.
Is that
Yeah,
7?
that would be 7. Yeah.
Oh, fierce.
Steady. Yeah. So we'll just say, unless anybody who was involved with the movie wants to write in and correct us, that is what that represents.
Definitely.
Well-known bit of Rocky Horror lore that we're sharing with you all. Yeah.
I like it. And I like
Yeah.
that if he's not including himself, then at the end he kind of does that little hand wave of no more. And that could be him.
Yeah. Yeah. But speaking of cards, Flapjack, first of all, you're such a card. But also, do you have any audience participation you'd like to share for this minute?
Yes. So the 3 things that I have for audience participation. 1, again, a classic. What's a golden shower like? Like I'm outside in the rain. And
That's
then,
beautiful.
oh, thank you. I'm very talented. For call 2, Frank says, cards for sorrow, cards for pain. And our cast has cards in the prop bag. So that's when you throw the cards. This last one, I'm not sure if it's a callback or if it was something someone just actually said from an experience they were having. But I've heard him say cards for sorrow, cards for pain, and someone yell, ow, paper cut. So I'm not sure if they've got hit with the card or if that's actually a callback. But those are the 3 I have.
It's funny. Yeah, another variation that I think has gained popularity at our show in particular is, instead of what's a golden shower feel like, another variation that sometimes people say is like, what's it like when you jack off into a ceiling fan? But also in our shows, I think probably the most popular one is just, what's it like when you're outside in the rain? Like I'm outside in the rain. Classic
There's no
anti-humor.
reason that I should love this one as much as I do, but
It's fun.
it really does make me smile.
It's because he's so dramatic about delivering the line that it's just funny. But also, before then, it can be, where do you masturbate? Everywhere. How's it been? It's been the same. And then you would go into whatever version of the outside in the rain setup you're going to do. And then, how much are blowjobs? Free. And then often something like, I'll take 2 or something. As Frank, I like to point and make eye contact directly with the audience member who asked about the blowjobs when I say free. But That's because I'm a working girl.
Okay.
Now, yeah, but not for any money, I guess. And then you do, as I said in a previous minute, you repeat again. I've seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show too many fucking times. And after 4 more massive bong rips, I'm going home. I'm fucking stoned. And then the last thing I have is that when people start standing, you should be telling everyone to rise for their queen. You know, people get pretty aggressive about trying to get every audience member on their feet. Usually they comply. Leandra will do a great impression of the old crone from The Princess Bride.
But I do
the
that when they're
queen-
applauding.
Well, you could, I suppose, at any point when they're rising for their queen.
That's fair.
Yeah, but the Queen of Refuse, etc., that whole bit. But that's all I have. Leandra?
I only have a couple more. It's to try and find the game. You can go, oh no, I've lost the game again.
No!
Just so stupid.
That one's aging like a fine wine.
No. And then, because I've seen Fire and I've seen Rain. It's a nice little folk tunesy one. And then Where Do You Shoot Your Heroine? In My Eyes. And it makes it, the fact that his eyes are bloodshot, really kind of
That's
sell
funny.
that bit. And that's it for me.
Okay.
Which means
Now, you don't have to go home.
You
can't
don't have to go home,
stay
but you
here.
can't stay here. So
So
get the fuck out, please.
To the late
I
night
loved it.
double feature picture show.
Sing the I Was Wrong song.
You're singing the Kelly's Wrong song.